I um I think perhaps like the things that these people are doing actually, negatively affects like their cells of their body, because looking at these people in this town, knowing that pretty much I've been told like pretty much all of these people, I don't think all of the children yet, but all of these adults in this town pretty much are cannibals and pedophiles. And I also look at people who, just, yeah, they don't look well. Now other people do look young for their age. And maybe there's something to like quantity and quality of, which is sick to think of, but of what they're doing. But or higher ranking people, I don't quite get it. All I know is like there's a lot of disease and sickness, I think more than what was ever supposed to be normal. And now, like, I've already been very health conscious and stuff, but now knowing about so many people in the world, like maybe a third or maybe half, giving themselves over to these things like cannibalism and pedophilia, it's like, well, hold on, then we need to think about that when we are thinking about health and why our society is so sickly. And, maybe things like AIDS, even, it's not a punishment like the right-wing Christians, which are actually vampires, and it's all a front. But like, I was in churches like that, some. I never could join them, but it's saying that that's the judgment for the homosexuals, when really these people have orgies, and pretty much I would say it's almost like they would tend to be bisexual and just whatever, because everyone's kind of sleeping with everyone else, but it's for like exchanging energy or coming together to like put a hex on someone, or to work together and do some kind of to put a curse on someone, like for like even the sacrificing, like they're doing it for what's the word, like ritual purposes. And so I don't know, I just think once these people are kind of like eradicated from earth, perhaps because this is the fountain of youth that they're consuming, which is not okay. And I just wonder if something like, I don't know, eternal life is here on earth after all. It's just that all of this, like, I was trying to think of like the end of the Bible, which I do not want to read the Bible at all. But like when it talks about in Revelation, once the beast who knew he only had but a short time, once they were cast into the lake of fire, which burneth forever and ever, and the people have been put into hell. And then it was like later the people are burnt up, is what it seems like. But then doesn't like the day star shine? Isn't there something of like, and I don't believe the Bible, but I believe that the people who penned the Bible like had certain knowledge, and it's a composition of lies and truth. So I was just thinking, I've been thinking about this more than like one time, and so I just wanted to kind of share. I wonder what life would be like on earth once these things aren't happening. And when I'm in rule, or when I have this authority that is being given to me, I believe that we're going to need to like have something in place, like perhaps surveillance for like the whole population, because and then people who would be caught like sacrificing a human or drinking blood or molesting someone, like they're gonna pay like right away, like with their life, because we're not gonna ever let this happen again. And the way that it's been happening, kind of like under the table and in such a huge, massive scale, I feel like, excuse me, that we have the technology to be able to surveillance in a way, but for good, not to oppress, but so that no one ever so no one ever can become the oppressor. So no one ever can, take what isn't theirs on this level of like personhood. It's like really like your soul star. It's like, it's your soul. It's who you really are. So much more important than if someone's stealing, an item at the grocery store. I think that we have the technology, and I think that these things can be put into place. And I think what I'm thinking is that we're going to find that we don't need these hospitals. These hospitals are actually part of, taking advantage of humanity. We don't need them, and we don't need the drug companies, which are just really poisons, and it's all about money. And I think we're going to find out that they're also related into this whole trafficking. And so, and I think people get taken out for false insurance claims, life insurance and stuff. I think the government's been part of that. So like once we have like something in place where there's like integrity and honesty, and once again, this is not perfection, but it's more like motives being right. I think we're going to find that we have like way more health. We are just naturally, and I'm just wondering if it could be to the extent of actually having, quote, using biblical language, eternal life, but having like, maybe a different kind of fountain of youth, not a sicko's version, but like our own youth. Finding like fountain, thinking of even like my name that I gave myself, Ocean, but like emotions, like being in touch with our emotions, becoming emotionally healthy and mature as a society, and then perhaps like when you're not living in that survival mode, and you're not being manipulated, you're not being traumatized on purpose by people who want to siphon your energy, perhaps we'll find that we live hundreds of years or longer, or we don't need these other things that they've been kind of crutches for the society. That's what I'm thinking.